Oh yeah, oh yeah. Are we live? Do we have audio? We have audio. Starting soon, screens are for suckers. Let's just get into it. Except I'm still not prepared. It really snuck up on me. Ugh. Is that happening? Let's get some BGM going. Why is that not coming through? Hey, why are you not coming through? Never mind, let's not get any BGM going. Always, 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 when I go live, I start having new issues that I did not have when I tested before. Let's get some more light. Ugh. My space is very dark because the walls are all black. Moving blankets. Little blanket fort. All right, well, I was supposed to be capturing my iPad screen, but I did not go ahead and get that started. Go away, you. Go away. Go away. Shoo. I need to open. I'm so prepared right now. No, I need to open. What is it called? Air server. Get the name of my own stuff. And wow, why can't I move this window? Excellent, excellent. Oh, come on. There we go. Go over to Messenger now. And go. Window. Code. Give me the code. Come on. Come on, let me enter the code. Come on, show it. Show it. Show it on screen. There we go. There we go. Cool. How's it going, my man? Sorry, it's so scuffed. I just finished eating a burger that I got on my way back from Spirited Away on the silver screen. How's the audio, Koo? Can you hear me? Is it clipping? Is it super quiet? I was trying to get some background music going, but for some reason, maybe I just need to turn it up. Hello? No, I don't. Anyway, that's going to be aggravating because now I can hear. Now I can hear the music, but y'all can't. Let me monitor myself by changing the mix in my hello. Put it in my headphones. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I can hear myself through the mic. I don't know why this isn't working. I just had to have a playlist up on YouTube and for some royalty-free music, of course, and it's just not coming through desktop audio right now. Nope. Excellent, excellent. Something always breaks the day of a stream. The moment I hit go live, something stops working. I love it. Anyway, I was gonna have something prepared to doodle while we talk, but as you can see, all I have up on my screen right now is a timesheet for something I'm working on for Animaitsuki, which is a monthly animation challenge hosted at was it Sakuga Foundry? You can just Google Sakuga Foundry and find a page where it links to their Discord. But in the meantime, I want to take these style tests and do Paradita in profile view because Yuki was having trouble figuring out how we draw her ponytail in this simplified style. Yeah, so first iteration of the design had a lot of line mileage where I went kind of KyoAni on the hair, and we decided that that's way too much. We're gonna pare it back. But anyway, instead of rambling and getting all off topic, let me restart and introduce myself. I'm Dizi. I'm a character designer, animator, voice actor, illustrator, and I'm currently working as the art director at Studio Ozone, which is an amateur animation studio founded in September. We currently have, I think, 12 members, and yeah, we've got writers, composers, voice actors, animators, production managers. I think we have one production manager right now. But anyway, we're currently in pre-production on a science fiction adventure story. And our plan with that is to make a short-ish animated... Ooh, oh, well. Ooh, burger coming back up. Anyway, our plan is to make a short-ish animated film, probably split into at least 2 episodes, maybe more. We're shooting for a total runtime of about 40 minutes right now. That might be adjusted once we've got our first draft completed and we see how much content we actually have. But yeah, we've gone ahead and started this YouTube channel because we want to use this channel to promote the project, recruit more talent. By the way, there is a Discord link that you can see on screen. There's also one in the description of this video. If neither of those work, send a DM to our Twitter channel and we'll get you through. Discord has been not nice to me when it comes to invite links. It seems whenever I send somebody an invite link, it doesn't work. So we have to come up with some other way to get them into the channel, but we'll get you in the server some kind of way, some kind of how. Where was I going to next? Let's see. Yeah, we want to show our process here and share what we're learning along the way because we're all using this as a as a learning process. None of us has a ton of experience in animation. We've been watching like YouTube tutorials and figuring it out as we go. So I think this is a much better way to learn animation than to pay $40,000 a year to do a sack of flour, and that's all the 2D animation you learn, and then you go on to do CG stuff from there. But our plan for right now for this channel is I'm going to be doing streams twice a week. Right now I have it penciled in for Monday. This one started a little bit late just because I went to a movie before and I wanted to give myself enough time, but I'm thinking 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday and Thursday. That schedule is subject to change. That's just what I've got, just to have a schedule for now. And so, yeah, Monday streams will be figure studies or some kind of drawing practice. Honestly, that's just to force myself to do it regularly. But we're going to be good artists on Mondays and do our studies. And on Thursdays, it's going to be something either directly related to the project or related to animation or something. I'm either going to be showing you some of the design work I'm doing, animation once we get that underway, promotional illustrations. So we'll be drawing something related to the project on Thursday, not just practice, but the real thing. But I'll hope to have some kind of talking point for each one of those Thursday streams. Well, as long as they remain on Thursdays, we may change that. But I'd like to have something for us to focus on talking about. So my plan for this week, we're going to talk about setting goals and my ideas about what makes the difference between why am I getting this message here? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Why not? What's going? Okay, it looks like y'all are gonna get some buffering. I don't know why. Um, oh, we're missing 2.2% of frames here. So, hopefully it's not that bad. So, sorry, I got this big alert. Hopefully the stream is going smoothly enough. Right now, it looks like, yeah, it looks like we're going back to normal. Okay. So anyway, for those Thursday streams, this Thursday we're talking about setting goals, and I have some ideas about setting goals as an artist, goals for improvement. What critical difference there is between healthy goals that will help you and unhealthy goals that can lead to things like burnout. And we'll get into more detail on that on Thursday. If you can't make one of the streams, don't worry. All of our streams are going to be archived, and you'll be able to find them in a playlist on the YouTube channel called Stream VODs. I think that's what I named it. Anyway, other members of the studio may host their own streams from time to time, or just jump into the Discord voice chat, which I forgot to get into. If any of you want to yell at me in voice chat, it'll come through the stream. I don't know. Desktop audio is messed up. It's not capturing at all. So maybe only I will be able to hear you if you jump into voice chat. And I will have to fix that later. In terms of more structured video content, we don't have any super concrete plans except for, teasers, trailers, and of course, finished episodes once we get those made. That's not off the table, but it's not something we have any concrete plans for yet. So for the immediate future, it'll just be streams. You'll get to see us make mistakes live. um. So. Yeah. So. Like I said, if any of this sounds like something you want to get involved in, you can join our Discord. All skill levels welcome. I mean, if you can hold a pencil, we can't afford to turn you down right now. We'll give you something to do. Or if you're interested in anything like voice acting, we have a couple of voice actors in the in the Discord already, and I think when it comes to time to start casting, we're going to go ahead and give people that are already in the Discord first crack at those roles. And whatever roles aren't cast within the Discord, we'll put out to casting sites. So, I mean, I think this is a really great opportunity to learn the craft of animation if that's what you want to, that's what you're trying to do right now. Art schools are so expensive, and none of them really teach 2D animation anymore. Hand drawn, that doesn't get taught in art schools. They'll have you do like the bouncing ball, the flour sack, and that's it. You may have the opportunities to work in 2D hand drawn on your own projects, but I've been listening to interviews with so many animators, directors, and a lot of them say they learned next to nothing in art school in terms of 2D hand drawn traditional animation. And animation has been something I've been wanting to learn, but paying $40,000 a year to learn basically nothing. When what we're doing right here is we're building our own IP, and then we're just going for it. A lot of art school curriculum has you just sit there and watch YouTube tutorials anyway. Like, I can access those for free. I don't need to pay somebody $40,000 to tell me to sit down and watch a YouTube video. That's what I found myself doing in between classes and learning more from that than I learned in class. But then I couldn't like actually practice and apply it because I had to get back to drawing a pointlessly large circle for drawing class where they had us draw on 18 by 24 for no reason, even though all we're drawing is a sphere. Why can't we do that in a sketchbook? Just a lot of stuff that art school, yeah, YouTube Academy, the way to go. Man, a lot of stuff these art schools have you do just makes no sense. So, I mean, instead of waiting for somebody to give us a job, we're giving ourselves the job. We can't pay ourselves, but um that's what you do. You give yourself the job before you have it, and you build a portfolio. And I don't think you need art school to do that. Um, with how expensive it's getting, did we just drop? Yeah, with how expensive it's getting, it's starting to make less and less sense to, unless there are specific things that art school, there are specific things that an art school can provide, but you can't get elsewhere. Access to certain internships, certain opportunities. I mean, there is the idea of being surrounded by, uh, a group of like-minded individuals and spending 4 years in that space. That does have value, but when you consider the cost, you got to ask yourself: is the juice worth the squeeze? And for me, I don't think so. I did a quarter at SCAD, and I was thoroughly unimpressed. The professors don't know how to teach. Like, they know the material, they know how to do the stuff, but they're bad at teaching. They're bad at communicating with students. They don't even understand how to use Blackboard. It's just, when you're paying $14,000 for 3 months of classes, you're paying premium prices. You expect to get a premium product, and what I got was not premium. I felt like my ability to improve at art, to improve at drawing, was actually slowed down. Um, and some of the numbers that they give are kind of sus. They talk about how something like 90+%, I forget what exact number, they talk about like how 99% of their students are working in their field within 2 years of graduation. But when you compare that to the global numbers of, let's see, I think it's 16 16% of working artists are art school graduates, and 10% of art school graduates are working in the arts. How is 99% of that coming from SCAD? What code have they cracked that all other art schools seem to like be failing at? And who says that number? Who gives us those numbers? SCAD. 99% of SCAD graduates. Says who? SCAD. Independent data shows far different numbers. So you definitely don't need to go to art school to get a career in the arts. I think art school is great for somebody who has no idea what they need to do to get where they want to go. But if you're self motivated and are able to be self directed, there are many, many places to get that information. You know, these formal institutions do not hold the keys to the gates anymore. You can find what you need on YouTube, in Discord groups, and many other avenues. And I think at this point in my life, I'd rather just be self-directed in my own study. And so I went to SCAD in last fall. I got accepted before the big C hit, or rather, I was applying before the big C hit, and right when it did, I got accepted. Um, and so I decided to start in the fall. They told me that campus would be open by then. I was like, I'm not gonna hold my breath. And sure enough, they reversed that decision at the last minute. I had to pull out my housing application because I wasn't gonna move to Savannah just to sit in my dorm and take online classes. Yeah, I was not impressed. So I thought that maybe the bulk of the problem was just doing classes over Zoom. You feel so disconnected from it all. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll wait a minute. I won't register for classes next semester. I'll see if or quarter SCAD's on the quarter system, which is weird. So I figured I'd just wait until campus opened again to see if I was going to go back to class. It is really hard to talk and draw at the same time. So yeah, while I was giving that some thought, I was just kind of like drawing on my own, drawing whatever I want, just nothing special, just like fan art and VTubers and stuff. About the time I got into SCAD was when I started to get really into VTubers. That was around the time that Hololive English started up. So I started doing like VTuber fan art and just random fan art, just because I couldn't figure out what the heck else to draw. I was like, might as well draw something that I like. Genshin fan art, VTuber fan art. So while doing all that, that's when I see I'm having all these thoughts about, do I really want to go back to school? Is that really going to be beneficial for me to have it take up all my time and not really give me much back in return? That's when I see whose tweet about hey, I'm making an anime. I'm like, sure you are. Wait, you serious? Like, I got nothing better to do. I'm just drawing anyway. Might as well draw something for somebody. So I was like, I'll do character designs for you. Right. Oh, sure. I really do believe that some of these VTubers are some of the best entertainers out there. I mean, actors in Hollywood movies get 50, 60 takes, as many as they want. I just realized I'm using a teeny weeny pencil because I was using it to mark up the exposure sheet. Usually don't use a pencil that teeny weeny. There we go. He has no forehead. It's gonna be a problem for us. I think she would like to have a forehead and a mouth. I was saying something. Yeah, see, actors in movies, they got they can do 50 takes, as many as they want, and they pick the best one. For a movie that's an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and they show up in what, if they're the star of the movie, they show up in most of it. But these VTubers, they sit for 6 hours. Sit for comedians, stand-up comedians, spend about a year putting together 30 minutes of material. These VTubers, they hit go live and they have to be entertaining for 6 hours every day. That's bonkers. That's raw skill right there. No nostrils. We're not drawing. So yeah, I'm still working out the style we're going to draw these characters in. So I've pared down some of the details of them over. Where are my other characters? Yeah, so I've taken some of the drawings that other members of our team have done and sort of iterated on them a little bit. But yeah, the line mileage is a bit high. So this is what I'm doing here, trying to like simplify it a bit just to make it a less of a pain to animate. And I don't know if this is exactly where we're going to land, but I've got to iterate some more. That's what design is, just iteration, iteration, iteration. You try one idea, you try another one, and figure out what the best one is. But right here. Drawing eyes in profile is kind of difficult. I think she would like to have some eyebrows. Portions of the front of the face are a bit wonk. I think there's just too much jaw, a little bit. Child characters are really challenging to draw because you're not used to drawing them. Their proportions can be a bit tricky. Anime nose, we gotta make it go whoop like that. Yeah. And that's terrible. I'll come back to that. But the shape should have more of this going on to it. Right now it's kind of flat. And we free transform. I really do not like the Clip Studio Paint interface on iPad. It's basically just a desktop port. They haven't bothered making an iPad version, which kind of sucks because I'm using it on an iPad and I would like the version I'm using on an iPad to be an iPad version. But why do we have keyboard shortcuts when I'm using a device that doesn't have a keyboard? Gotta go through menus. Real big. Here we go. Do what? Do what? Yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna draw these noses in profile. More forehead. That. I think the eye is quite small. Yeah. Yep. I wanted the eraser there. Gotta have to do something for comms. All right. How long have we been going for? What's the time? Oh, only half an hour? I thought I had more to say. Trying to go to shapes more than filling things up with lines, but without getting too cartoony. A difficult balance to get. Not a whole lot, just one or two lines, maybe. Something of that nature. Bit of a situation. I don't know, something. Don't need all that nonsense. Trying to get the head worked out. Give me the eraser. Gotta get those little hairs that fly away when you do a ponytail. Here. Very important. Don't skip them. Anyway, I've said all I wanted to say about stuff, so now we're just doodling. Is anybody drawing with me? Draw with me. Come on, draw with me. Do it. Pick up the pencil. Do it. Go. You gonna draw with me? Go for it. Can I break down how like an animation studio works on things? Not really, because I barely know how an animation studio works on things. But what we've been learning from is I mean, I've been watching a lot of or I've been listening to a lot of podcasts with uh animators, directors, stuff. Overwrite. Yes, I want to over. Um, a great resource is a channel called Tonari Animation. Used to be called Striving for Animation, but they founded the guy running it founded his own animation studio, so it's now it's named after the studio. They have some excellent information uh on the process of specifically anime pipeline and how they go through the different steps to, you know, make animation. And so we're following that kind of Japanese pipeline as well. Yeah, Jarrett. He also runs a Sakuga Foundry. Uh, which is related to what I had open in the beginning of the stream. I'm trying to like work out how I'm gonna do a walk cycle for Animaitsuki. So uh I'm trying to learn timesheets too. This has a bunch of like, crap scribbled in it, which I'm gonna get rid of by the time I've finished. But I'm just like organizing my thoughts using the X sheet. But yeah, basically, once you've got your script written, you go to a stage called ekonte, which is the Japanese version of storyboarding. And you got a series of images or like shots of what the screen's going to look like. This character standing here. This is the background. Uh, yeah. So you'd be familiar with some of these terms. Ekonte is storyboard, and you go on to layout. Doga, Genga, first key, second key. And some of these line up with American pipeline, but it's done a little bit differently in Japan there. So like layout is what is similar to what we would call an animatic, but that to the Japanese pipeline is kind of like their storyboarding, and our storyboarding is more like ekonte. And we're gonna get more into that and figure out what our exact pipeline is. Uh, Once we've got our story put together, we've got most of our first draft finished. Yeah, a lot of the information we have is from Tonari. They have a lot of good content. There's also a guy called Dong Chang. He puts out a lot of useful stuff on on the the animation software we use, which is OpenTunes. I'm gonna throw a link in chat. That's Dong Cheng. He has a lot of excellent stuff on not only OpenTunes, the software and how to use it, but just all of his stuff is great to watch. How he does like hair and bases it on the seaweed exercise that they have in Japan. I've never seen the seaweed exercise be a thing for American animators. You know, we have our bouncing ball, we have a sack of flour, but a lot of stuff on OpenTunes, how to do lip sync. He's posted some of his animation tests for Decadence, which he worked on. So we've been looking at a lot of that stuff, and there are other people that just like, if you want to learn OpenTunes, just like type OpenTunes into the search and you'll get a lot of good stuff. And that's the animation software that we're using. I think some of our people are also using Clip Studio. I would do animation in Clip Studio, but I have Pro, not EX. And Clip Studio Paint Pro has some like limitations on how long your animation can be. Yeah, it's free, and it's I did a I actually followed Dong Cheng's which one is it? OpenTunes, one of his OpenTunes videos where he does a head turn. What is it? Yeah, it's digital animation in OpenTunes. Whoop, stop. I just want to get this link. I'll throw that into chat. It's this tutorial here that I followed to do a head turn in OpenTunes, and that taught me a lot about the program. I went all the way through from rough animation to coloring, and the coloring tools in OpenTunes are really great. Like when I've seen behind the scenes footage of anime being made, and you see how the colorists work, how they're like click 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 click, filling it all in. That's exactly how it's done in OpenTunes. Matter of fact, some of that footage that I've seen, they might have been using OpenTunes. I don't know. But yeah, I was really impressed with the software, and it was pretty easy to learn how to use it. It has some really great tools. And I know I haven't even scratched the surface. There are so many automations. Yeah, so the way I've heard it is it was first used at Ghibli, I think, for Princess Mononoke. Yeah, built on top of Tunes, which was first used for Princess Mononoke, yeah. Now it's open source. I've also heard of I think it's called Tahoma, which is built on the same architecture as OpenTunes, but it just has a more up-to-date user interface. I'd be interested to try that one out because I do have some issues with navigation, like pinch to zoom, rotate, and you can only do one of those three at a time, and it's really aggravating. Like, see, on my iPad, I can just zoom and pan and rotate as much as I want. You're stuck doing one at a time, and when you rotate, it doesn't rotate around where you want it to. It rotates around the center of the canvas, which is nuts. Navigation is a big issue for me. It's what has prevented me from making progress in Blender like I want to, because like I've tried following Blender tutorials, and like when I try to like rotate around the object that I'm sculpting, it just goes It goes 50 yards off to the right. I'm like, why can't I make it rotate around my sculpture? Why is it rotating around a random point way over there? Yikes! Put my glove back on. I can't type with this glove on. I always end up mashing the wrong keys. But yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more, getting back into the program. I'm going to be doing the Animaitski in OpenTunes. So yeah, the one thing that I had to learn the hard way was like when you're doing the colors, you'll do your layout lines, which is like, you'd use red for highlights. You'd use like a red for highlights, like in the eyes, and then color separation between the skin and the whites of the eyes. And then you do your shadows in blue. Your layout lines for shadows and stuff. Blue, and then when you go to color, it's supposed to like when it fills in the shadow, it's supposed to like eat the line too and not leave it. And I couldn't get that to work and wasn't understanding why. And that's because it's a setting in that color that is not enabled by default. Like you got to go into that color and go, no, set it to, you know, absorb the color when it's filled. I forget exactly what the terminology is, but like you've got to apply that to the layout lines yourself. And nobody tells you that. They just go, oh, it automatically does this. And then when you try it and it doesn't do it, you're like, well, now what? Yeah, in OpenTunes. But that's an easy fix once you've figured it out. And if I do I'm probably going to do a stream soon where I do something in OpenTunes, either doing the Animaitski or doing something else. Yeah, every Blender tutorial is great until you run into the first problem. And then you have no way of figuring out how to look up the solution. It's like, you'll follow a Blender tutorial, you'll get through the first, 20 or 30 minutes of it, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you hit a button, and instead of, like, doing the thing it's supposed to do, it makes your sculpture, like, implode, and you're like, uh, what did I do wrong here? Yeah, that's, you know, one of the things that's a perk of, like, learning on the job is, like, at least there's somebody there that you can go, hey, what just happened here? And, like, somebody can tell you, oh, yeah, you did this wrong. This is how you fix that. Like, if you don't have somebody standing next to you who you can ask these questions, you're kind of screwed. But at least 2D animation software, for the most part, is a little bit simpler than that. So you're less likely to run into like super catastrophic issues that you can't figure out the answer to. Like I was able to figure out how to fix that issue with the layout lines, coloring, just by kind of looking it up in the manual, in the online manual for OpenTunes. I had to scroll through it for a bit. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but then once I found it, I was like, oh, well, that's simple. But yeah, if Tahoma is basically the same thing, but with a better UI, then I might end up using Tahoma, especially if the navigation works, like modern, like it's not straight out of the 90s. Noses can be tough to draw. You get like one little teeny weeny line wrong on a nose and it just looks wonky. Now she looks like an elf. Yeah, you could tell I'm not used to drawing in profile, in anime style, because the little nose is, but it goes like this and then it goes straight and it goes like that. Yay. Clip Studio Paint on iPad subscription. It is actually a subscription on iPad. I think it's $70 a year. It's a one-time payment on PC, and that license lets you install it on up to 2 devices. So I have an old MacBook that's dead right now, but I've used the same license on my MacBook and this PC, which I built last January. So those two are same license, but on iPad, for some reason, it's kind of aggravating too, because they didn't even bother making it an iPad version. Like, if you're gonna make us pay a subscription fee to have this program on our iPad, you could have at least made it an iPad version of the program and not just a port that has. Look at this. We've got keyboard shortcuts. Why have I got keyboard shortcuts? Do you see a keyboard? You see a keyboard here? Does it look like I have a keyboard? I was using Procreate for a while, which is an excellent program, but unfortunately it does things to your storage where it just loads it up with temporary files, and the engineers at Procreate claim that they'll automatically be removed as needed, but they won't. And they'll clog up your storage to the point where like your iPad locks up and you can't use it. And it almost bricks your iPad. So you have to take your whole Procreate library and offload it off your iPad so it stops holding, your entire device hostage. And I've had to do that twice. The second time I uninstalled Procreate. I uninstalled it and went back to Clip Studio. So there are some things in Clip Studio Paint on the iPad which take about 3 steps, where it used to take 1 step on Procreate. Like, if I want to change my brush size on Procreate, that's just a slider on the side of the screen. If I want to change my brush size in Procreate, I got to open up this list of brush sizes and pick the one that I want from the list. And as soon as I start drawing, it goes away again. Or that was my eraser. But also the transform tool, the lasso tool. You take something and you try to move it. It's really laggy. See how you move it and then it moves? You move it and then it moves. And if you're making a bigger selection than that, it gets really laggy for no reason. It wasn't laggy in Procreate. I know my iPad has the processing power to do it quicker than that. Try using a Bluetooth keyboard on your iPad. I've seen manga artists that do that. Manga artists that work on iPad, and they'll have a Bluetooth, not a whole keyboard, but a number pad, Bluetooth number pad. I've been thinking of getting one just to have a few hotkeys that I can hit, so I don't have to like have a whole keyboard with my iPad set up. But I've been able to get by without it so far. There are only a couple of times where I need to do something where I have to like go into a menu real quick, go into free transform, just edit, transform, free transform. So it's like mildly annoying, but for like 95% of the drawing process, it isn't really an issue, because I'm just sitting here drawing, erasing, drawing, erasing, except I forgot to switch back to the pencil tool. Minor annoyances, which I wish would be fixed, but like they're not gonna really get in my way. Yep. I'm just excited to learn more animation. I've dabbled in animation stuff, like doing a couple of things. I've even used an app on the iPad called Calipeg. That's a nice app for just like if you want to mess around with animation. It's designed in a way where it kind of mimics animating on paper, you know, the animation paper and an Acme peg bar where you get to flip it. Like you can take like 3 fingers and swipe up and down and you can flip through the animation, or you can just like hit play on it and see it play out in real time. Um, but I don't know what the output formats are for it or what. They've made improvements to it over the last few years. But yeah, I've just done like basic stuff like head turns in it and bouncing ball and stuff. But yeah, I kind of fell off the wagon there because it was just like, I didn't really have any sense of direction for what I was doing, and I was just messing around. But to have like a project to work on, where I get to work together with awesome people and try to make something rad, it gives me a lot more motivation to like actually sit down and do some animation, knowing that like it's going to be a part of a bigger project. And we're going to learn as we go. It would be cool to get somebody who has like actual animation experience involved in the project. That way they can like help us avoid being completely stupid and inefficient. But if not, I guess we'll just make mistakes and learn from them. That's fine too. In my drawing, I am drawing Perdita, who is a character in our story. She's the first character that I designed. As soon as I got into the Discord, we had a little outline of our story. And as soon as I read about Perdita, I was like, I have to draw her. I have to draw her. Has anybody else drawn her? No? Okay, I'm going to draw her. It was a bit premature to do that, designing characters when you don't even have the whole story laid out, but we're flying by the seat of our pants here, and I figured it would be nice to just like give her a face and then, we can adjust later, which is what I'm doing now. Sort of adjusting the style of the characters. At first I was drawing them like with a lot more lines, a lot more detail. I'm like, let's cut down on the line mileage to make this easier to animate. You would like to contribute to this studio someday, go into the description of this video and you can join our Discord. Let me know. Let's see. If that link doesn't work for you, follow us on Twitter and send a DM to the Twitter account and we'll get it worked out. I don't know if Discord has stopped being mean to me when it comes to invite links. But there's an invite link over my head, sort of up that way that you could type in. And there's one in the description of this video. So right now we've got about 12 members, and if we're gonna get this project going, we're gonna need more people. So that's one of the reasons we started this YouTube channel, just sort of show people our process and get people involved. Anime has this weird thing where it looks simpler than manga. That's true, and that is because, in order to do a chapter of manga, you have to draw a character 20, 25 times. In order to do an episode of anime, you have to draw that character 3,000 times. So we have this thing called line mileage or pencil mileage, right? In animation, it's talked about a lot. And you'll notice that in any kind of character design in animation, unless you're talking about Kyoto animation, where they'll do like Violet Evergarden and just go ape on the line mileage, you'll notice that they pick their details carefully. And the simpler you can make the design in terms of how many lines you have to draw to get the character down. That's why mecha animation is really hard, because you have to draw these Gundams that have all these parts that go choo choo, all these straight lines and all these lines going there, and then you got the cut lines and the panel lines and the little doodads, and it takes a long time to draw a mech because it's a lot of lines, and that's why you see, because it's a rigid structure and it doesn't have to squash and stretch, it's sort of monolithic. You'll see a lot of CG being used because you only have to model the mech once, and then you can just like rig it for animation and then view it from any angle, run it through a filter, make it look like it's lines and cell shading, and it makes it a lot easier to draw mecha, or to not draw, but to animate mech. So yeah, I'm not coming from a huge background on animation, so when it came to these character designs, at first I was kind of like drawing them the same way I normally illustrate, and you know, I've had to reevaluate the drawing, because like even like her hair looks cool, but like that's a lot of lines to draw over and over and over. So we're looking to simplify it a little bit, to make it easier for all of our animators to draw. And another thing I have to maybe give up is this top. It looks really cool, but like all these, come on, all these crisscrossing lines, that's really hard to draw. So what I'm working on right now is the way we're gonna simplify these designs to make them easier to animate. Another thing that makes a difference between manga character design and anime character design, even if they're gonna stick very closely to the style of the manga, the characters, manga artists don't have to worry about doing like a head turn. They can have a way they draw the character's nose that they do from three-quarter view, a way they do it in profile, a way they do it straight ahead, that have very little to do with each other. But when you try to just do a head turn with that, you gotta like pick lines up and put lines down in weird ways that just makes it hard to animate. So sometimes they just redesign the character with an eye towards not just cutting down on line mileage, but like what lines go where at which angle can be something that is a completely different consideration from when you're animating than when you're just doing comics. So anyway, we've been going for about an hour right now. If you have any more questions, I'd love to hear them, but thinking I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up soon. All right. Well, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on Thursday, and we'll be doing these twice a week streams regularly. Yeah, yeah. My plan is on Mondays we're gonna do you know, figure studies or some other kind of practice. And on Thursdays, I'm going to be doing just whatever kind of work related to project, whether it's promotional illustrations or actual animation work. Once we get that underway, um, so that's my plan so far. The schedule might change as we get feedback, who's able to show up and who isn't. You know, trying to do it at good times where like most people can tune in. Like right now it's late on the East Coast, but it's still evening on the West Coast, and it's like what right now it's like 12:30 in the morning and or 12:30 in the afternoon in Japan. We've got some people in let's see, Southeast Asia, I think. So I'll be keeping an eye on analytics, who tunes in and like who's struggling to show up. But at least if you can't make it to the stream, all of them are going to be archived. You'll be able to find them in a playlist in our channel. I think it's just called Stream VODs, where you'll be able to find our streams. But yeah, hit that Discord link if you want to join us. I mean, we're accepting all skill levels. Even if you're like an absolute beginner, we've got a lot of I mean, we're all beginners. I'm a beginner when it comes to animation, I've been drawing for a while, but I still got a lot to learn when it comes to animation, and I'm having a lot of fun learning by working on this project. Um like I said, if the Discord link doesn't work, uh hit us up on Twitter, send a DM, and we'll get you in. And that's gonna be it for today, folks. You want to learn some stuff first? Well, you can learn stuff with us. We're all learning as we go, anyway. And if you have any questions, you can ask us, and we might be like, we don't know either, or we might know which direction to point you in at least. But yeah, we're welcoming anybody that wants to get involved in any way, not just in animation, but if you want to paint backgrounds, if you want to, if you're a voice actor, we've got a couple of voice actors in the studio already, kind of sitting around waiting for us to give them something to do. Um, but yeah, this was rad, and I'm looking forward to doing these streams twice weekly for the foreseeable future as we make more progress on this project. Peace.